Hello everyone, so today I have another Alice in Wonderland themed junk journal to share. I used a variety of ephemera that I collected. I think I purchased some things from scrapbook.com. This is what's left of the sticker sheet. It was a 12 by 12 sticker sheet. And then there was some Alice in Wonderland themed paper by Echo Park, I believe. And so probably these little ephemera pieces came in a pack that was Echo Park. And then, I don't remember, I can probably look that up if you're interested. I don't know if they still have it because I bought it a while ago and I made my first, Alice in Wonderland themed journal a while ago. And then I took a long break. And so then I have a variety of stamps. I used the Your Creative Studio stamps from one of those. Let me look that up and put it in one of the Your Creative Studio boxes that had the teacups, and then I had this little rabbit in a teacup, and I thought he was like the little white rabbit because he's got, if you look really closely, you can see a little tiny stopwatch or watch, you know. And then some trims and things, and so let's go ahead and I'm just going to talk about the cover for a moment here. I used this large piece of chipboard ephemera from this Alice in Wonderland themed pack. I want to say maybe that's Stamperia, but I can look it up. And then there's this key here is from that same chipboard pack, as well as these, the teapot and the saucer and cup, teacup. Then I have some vintage fabric that I had in my stash. I stitched around the edges of it. And then I have some blue lace, some white lace, and then some blue and white vintage trim here. This right here is an actual used tea bag. I think it was a Rooibos tea. It's got this beautiful reddish brown tone to it. Of course I drank the tea, but then I saved the tea bag, emptied it out, and dried it, and I've had it in my stash and I used it here. And then this is an actual, what do you call this? The tag that comes off the tea bag. So Bigelow Sweet Dreams tea. It's an herbal tisane type mix that I had at some point and enjoyed, and I kept I think it was still attached to the tea bag. That one was more of a square shape. It might have even been this one. You can see there's still some tea stuff left on it, but I can get that off. But, you know, so that's a lighter color. I'll use that for something, but then I just used the string and I tucked it behind, and I liked the word, the sweet dreams, because, you know, she falls asleep in the story Alice in Wonderland. She falls asleep, and then the whole story proceeds from what, I mean, essentially, I guess it's a dream, right? So that I thought fit, and it's got the blue, which this journal has a lot of blues and kind of pinks, I think. So then this is seam binding, and I sometimes will dye it to match the colors. This time I just left it because I think it goes. This cover I had made a while back. I don't know if I ever did a video. It's probably junk mail or something, and then I covered it in some scrapbook paper. So I have two signatures here. Oh, I forgot that I have a doily back here also. This is a paper doily that had been coffee or tea dyed, and I glued that on. And then this is another smaller paper doily here, and it's not dyed. So we have a variety of whites and then the vintage looking colors, and I've done two large eyelets for the closure here. And I did that at roughly the center on both the front and the back. And so it just goes through like this. And, you know, sometimes I just can't decide what I want to do for a closure, but I always make them fat, so they really need a closure. But this one is removable, although you would have these. But you could slip in any other closure type, but I didn't want it going across after, because sometimes I just like get into the creative mode and I do the cover. But, you know, if you wanted to put this to be able to go across without covering up what you have, you'd have to put it on underneath. And so oftentimes I find that I already finished the cover, you know, the design, and then I'm like, oh, what am I going to do for a closure? And I don't want to put that across there. So this was how I did it this time. Alright, going inside here, we will see. So this cover I had made and then set aside, and I didn't know what I was going to use it for. And when I made it, oh, you know what? I think I remember now. I think this was like a pamphlet envelope or something. I can't tell, but because it has a pocket here. So I decoupaged book page on and then the scrapbook paper, but I think it was one of those manila mailer envelopes, you know, and then so I've slit this here to make a pocket. Anyway, this is from some of the scrapbook paper, I believe, that I bought on scrapbook.com. So these are just two little cut-aparts that make nice bookmarks, and I stuck them in here. This piece behind here is a scrap from one of the same scrapbook papers. Then I've done a little fussy cutting here with this die cut piece. I put a little bit of white scrapbook paper behind because I wanted to separate it from this busy pattern here. And then I used a couple brads there. And then another paper doily here in this brown color. And then this is from the ephemera pack little piece here where she's falling. Love the blues in this, and so that's kind of lent itself to the color scheme here. Look at those blues, they're really pretty. This is a scrapbook paper. The other side has some like cut apart tags, but I have covered it with some like lined ledger type paper, and it's also got that nice blue. This right here is a sticker, so this one I made a little longer and made a side tuck here. These are some little, this pops up, oops, I didn't mean to do that, and you know, it can be dimensional. It's from Daiso, some little note card pieces, whatever. This is a piece from the ephemera pack that I turned into a little top tuck here, and then we have a little piece of journal card from the scrapbook paper. Again, this is stitched on, so I did a lot of stitching with my sewing machine on the signatures before I sewed them in, or the pages of the signature. This page here is from the original Alice in Wonderland book. That I should put an iCard up in the corner because I have a video on that one. I had found this vintage Alice in Wonderland book that came with its own like hardbound book case where you slip the book into the case, and so I was very limited on the thickness of the signature for that one. I just did one signature because I wanted to reuse that vintage bookcase, but these are some of the original pages from that book that I kept, and this one is probably in the section with the caterpillar who is smoking, because it looks like the words are spelled out in smoke. I just thought that was so cool, I had to keep it, and so that's why this page has the torn edge, because I didn't even want to cut off this part. It goes just a little further, but I was limited in the width, so that's how I did that. Now here's one of my fabulous beat dyed papers. Oh, and maybe I'll put an iCard for this also, because I do have a video just describing how that process came about, but man, I need to get some beets and cook them for my husband and save the skins to make. I don't like beets, that's why I cook it for him, because I don't want to eat them, but they make some beautiful dye, and it's pretty cool. I think I talk about how, you know, I was making a huge mess in the kitchen with the beets, and that's when I thought, this is great for paper. So this is a sticker here. This is a fabric washi strip, and this is coffee dyed paper here for my stash. This little sticker came in a Your Creative Studio box. I don't remember which one, but it looks like Alice to me, Alice in Wonderland, so I saved it with my Alice stuff. Here is another little cut apart from one of those themed Alice pages. This paper here was also from, I think, the Echo Park pack of Alice in Wonderland themed. Then I have some like trim here with, this is some hand-dyed seam binding. It's, I believe, the oxide ink in spun sugar. Then I have a piece of just like cotton fabric here that I have stamped on with my peg stamps, because this was in my stash, you know, because I did it a long time ago, but I just did, and I thought the roses fit with the Alice in Wonderland theme, so, and I stitched that on with my sewing machine. Here is just a piece of that trim with the flower. I have a little bit left here. It's fun. I like to cut it off and use it as an element in the journal. And then this is one of the original pages, Alice's Adventures Underground. I think it's the title page of that book. Oh, I forgot that this is a pocket here. I folded this up to make a pocket here. Used some of this paper from one of the papers, and then this this is, I think it's either a sticker or a die cut that I glued down. I'm not sure. And then this is from that paper pack, Alice in Wonderland. You could use these as large journal cards, but I kind of left it as a little booklet. I could even make a little mini journal in here. I don't think I'm going to do that, but you know. Here's another one of those pieces of the ledger paper that I have stitched some more of this blue lace onto the edge because this wasn't quite as wide, but you know, I don't mind a variety in that. Here's a little sticker here, more beep dyed fabulous paper. This little glassine type envelope came from Daiso. It's Alice in Wonderland themed, curiouser and curiouser, and I've cut the edge to make a little pocket here. I love this little image of the Cheshire cat there. And then I have a little tag here. Now with these ones, that I just love this beautiful rose pattern on the back, so I just could not cover it up. But if you wanted a more space to write, you can easily put a scrap of copy paper or coffee dyed paper or anything to add to the usefulness of that. Or it could just be a nice place to put a picture, you know, with a background there or ephemera. Who knows? Here is a piece of coffee dyed stationery. And then here's one of the first little stamped images. I wonder if this is going to show up. So anyway, it's a little teapot, some flowers and cup. And then here's this guy right here. I think that is focusing so you can see the little bunny and he's in the teacup with his hat and his little teeny tiny watch. Depending on what format you're viewing this on, you may or may not be able to see that at all. Now here for the strings in the center, which I like to keep, these are from the sticker sheet, that 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and they're pretty close to the same size, so I stuck two stickers together, and then there were some of these butterflies there, and you'll see in the second signature I've done something similar there. This is the other half of that glassine bag. Now I just trimmed it down, and because there was only about that much left on this side, and used it to attach some more of these papers from one of the paper pads. If you can dream it, you can do it. And then instead of cutting these apart as a square cut apart element, I left the seam there. I love this image here where she's looking back at the rabbit. And then I used my tab punch, whoops, out of frame, tab punch to make a little tab here out of coffee dyed paper. And it's not super sturdy, but here's the other half of that. And then this is that original book page with the pocket. I have a sticker here. This sticker says "Stay Curious." And here she is. I don't know. It looks like she's in water. I'm not really sure what part of the story that is. Here's a little tag here. This little card came with matching envelopes. Oh, I didn't even know he was on the back there. But this came from Daiso, a little Alice in Wonderland themed Disney items. So this side I have some beautiful lace trim that I stitched on there, some more lace trim here that has a pink and a white, and then here's a sticker that says Dream. Here I just put a couple stickers. That says Shine Like the Stars and Wonderful, and I liked the yellow with that yellow butterfly. There's not a lot of yellow in this, but it goes right there. She fell asleep and got lost in Wonderland. So you're seeing that dream theme come out there. Here, I was inspired by something I saw where someone made like a door. And so I used this cut apart like journal thing, and I kept some of the edge to make a little kind of door, like a little secret journaling spot. This I fussy cut out separately and added it on. You know what, it might be a nice place to put a key. I wonder if I'm gonna just put a little tab in here to remind myself, because maybe I want to put a little key sticker or die cut, something that I have. Oops. Here I'm making it. I'm sure I have another little key or something in here, and I just feel like that would be nice to put like just in the little corner there. So remind myself of that. And then a sticker that says Wonderland. Here I just have one of these little die cut ephemera pieces that I glued partially to make a little tuck spot. This has some random stuff on the back, which could either be gessoed over, or you can leave it, or add some paper. I haven't done that. Leave options there. Here's another fabulous illustration from the original book. I don't know what's happening there. Maybe that's the tea party. I'm not sure. We do have a rabbit, but it looks like they're drinking wine or something. They got goblets. So, very interesting. And then that is, what is this, chapter 111? Oh, no, it's probably Roman numerals, silly. Chapter 3, that's probably what it is. I don't know what that guy is either, but you can read little snippets of the story. Then we have a journal card here. There's that other page. And that is the end of the first signature. The second signature here has some stickers. I just trimmed off the edge. And then this sticker matches this so nicely, doesn't it? And so then we have, these were some of the tiniest stickers on the sticker sheet. And again, another fabulous image. Here, I'm going to turn it for you. I think those look like dodo birds. I do like this guy right there. Doesn't he look like a dodo bird? I like dodo birds. And chapter 2, not chapter 11 probably. So it's not in order, my little pages that I added in. I just kind of picked them based on the images and things. Have some more trim here. That was hard to sew straight because it wants to curl, but that's fairly decent. Coffee dyed paper. This sticker right here is hiding the back of a staple. You'll see that momentarily. Here's a nice sticker here that I added. Very large sticker. So here, this is actually just a die cut piece. It's paper. And I just stapled it through the center and then just put the sticker on the back to cover up the staple. I added a little adhesive because it's not flat, so that it stays. I love this image on this scrapbook paper. That's the white rabbit. I really like how this is illustrated here. And then I covered up this side because it's just spades and hearts, like graphic on that side. I covered it with the ledger paper, and just that blue goes so well with this. And then this sticker says, "Drink me." We have another little teapot. This is paper that I used my scan and cut to cut out. It did a relatively good job. And then we have another tiny teacup, which is from the Your Creative Studio stamp. And this is oxide ink tumbled glass, if you're wondering. I do have it right here, so that's what I used to stamp. I kind of checked, and I thought that one looked the best of the inks that I have. So that's what I stamped those in. More fabric washi. Here we have a coffee dyed stationery piece, another sticker, another sticker. This is a little element that I cut out from the scrapbook paper, and it's just a trio of playing cards. And then one of the scrapbook papers it was the pattern of one side was all of these playing cards and the other side had the backs. And I did use my Brother and Scan and Cut to cut those, and it did relatively well also. So I have a bunch of these tiny little playing cards, and I just picked a few to put in here. It's just a fun little interactive element. I like to have things like that in the journals that I make that you can take out and do fun things with. So here's another piece of coffee dyed paper with some trim attached to the side. Another of the lovely illustrations. Now I did have to cut it a bit to fit it, right? And I didn't actually put anything here, but I could add washi or whatever, something to that. This one's great. I really liked this because he's got I think, you know, when they use the bird as a croquet stick, and here he's kind of falling over, losing control of the bird there, and the card's doing this. Some of the fun images in that movie or story, and so I like that one. I really like that. And this must be, look, I think that might be a hedgehog or whatever. They used him for the ball in Alice in Wonderland, and the talk back. This is like one of my favorite parts of the Alice in Wonderland movie was, you know, that scene with the croquet and the birds. Of course, that would not be cool to use real animals in that way. That would be cruel and not cool. But it is, you know, a story, so it's kind of fun. This is a glassine bag, also from Daiso, pinks and purples, and Alice in Wonderland themed. The purples don't quite go with my, color scheme, but the theme definitely does. We are all mad here, so I have another card tucked in there. This one, I just used the full envelope and trimmed off the bottom. And then I have the center strings here and some butterfly stickers. There's 3 of the blue ones. Well, no, there's 2 of the blue ones. 2 of the blue ones, but sometimes it looks, okay. And yep, there's a sticker here. This is a chipboard piece that came in the pack, but what I did with a lot of the chipboard ones, because they're a bit thick in a journal, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's just grab this piece. It's pretty thick, and so what I would do is take it, let's see if I can do it here. I don't want to do it all the way because I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I'd peel off about half of it and to use it, such as this cat one, very carefully because I don't want to rip his tail off. But it separates pretty well. So if you if you have chipboard elements and they're just a little too thick for what you want to use them for, like on the cover, I don't know if I did it on the cover or not. I think what I did on the cover was I used some sandpaper to rough up the back so it would grip a little better, but I didn't split this one. I might have split the key in half to make it a little thinner, but yeah, for the individual pages, I didn't want that much thickness. So that's a little tip to keep in mind if you have that kind of thing. So it's still thick, you can still feel it, but it's half as thick. Here's a sticker here, some more fabric washi here that I cut little tails into. Here's some more little fabric elements. I have some more of that spun sugar oxide ink dyed seam binding, so it's the same stuff as this right here. It's just been dyed with oxide ink. And then a flower and a little bling piece that I glued on, and then this was a strip of that fabric that I had stamped on with my peg stamps. There's 3 different peg stamps here. There are actually 4, because a larger rose, a smaller rose, this leafy one, and then this brambly branch piece. And I like how that looks there. It does add a little bit of dimension. So writing in this journal, you would want to use either like a little clipboard or a little chipboard element to get your page so that you're not writing on all the other stuff beyond. Here is a cute sticker. I like this card guy. And then this is another sticker here. I think I fit it all on there without having to trim it off. And there's the Queen of Hearts there. Here's another stamp from Your Creative Studio. The Trio of Teacups. Love that. And it's got the hearts. I really like that stamp. That's cool. Here's another little strip of fabric that I sewed on here. And then this was the other portion of this one page. And so it's quite a bit shorter. And so I thought this piece of vintage trim fabric went really nicely. It's got those roses and it's in that perfect little blue, so that just happened to be in my stash. I tried a different stitch here, not loving that stitch. I think, the best to go with the zigzag or the straight stitch. This has just too many holes, but I used it. And then I love this little, oh my ears and whiskers, how late it is, or it's getting, or whatever, I don't know what it says on there. Here again, another chipboard element that I split so it's not as thick. Took off some of the cardboard backing and just glued it partially on, to use as a tuck spot. I have this little tag. How long is forever? Sometimes just 1 second. I'm not crazy. My reality is just different than yours. That's pretty funny, don't you think? And then a little scrap of fabric. I have a bunch of this fabric somewhere in my bin, and it's got hearts on it, so it's kind of a very pale pink, but I thought that worked just great. And then I put this little bunny on there, and I did add some adhesive so that he'd stay sticking to the fabric. And I have some more trim here. This guy is die cut out of the paper, not die cut. Yeah, he is die cut, but with the Brother Scan & Cut. He's one of the ones that actually cut out pretty well with that one. And I think this guy is meant to be kind of the caterpillar guy. I don't think I've actually read the whole book. So I'm thinking of like the Disney movie. In the Disney movie, it's Caterpillar guy. I don't know what he is here. He's sitting on a mushroom, but he's smoking whatever there, and he's talking to Alice. So this page goes with the other one that had the words. That's really clever the way they did that in that book. Fabric washi, a little piece of thin washi that has hearts there. This is folded over with stickers, and yep. Oh, it is called Caterpillar, so he's just an interestingly illustrated one there. But yeah, and then we have a lovely envelope here. This has a very nice texture. This also came from the Daiso You can see there Daiso and the Disney collection items. So I have a pack of them, you know, but I used one there, and it's just beautifully illustrated there. This folded up for a pocket here, and then we have a couple more journal cards. I didn't use too many of this paper. This might have been the Stamperia one because it was not quite as, it didn't fit as well with the theme and colors. That's the last page there. And then again, this journal cover that I had made has a spot for a little pocket here. There's this guy. And then I used a scrap here. And then just, this is probably from a magazine or something where I found the word Alice, and they might have been, yeah. So I had that in my stash of Alice things. And I have a coffee dyed doily, and then she is die cut from the page with the scan and cut. And she cut out quite nicely. She looks like she's contemplating at the end of this book here. So, wow, that's probably going to be a long video. Here's another little piece of tea bag. Those are fun. It's fun to use those, and I think it goes great with Alice in Wonderland because of the tea party, Mad Hatter section. I am going to be making a tea-themed, more tea-themed, floral, tea party-themed journal. I have this cover that I made. So this will have to be kind of a single signature. I've got a couple elements from Your Creative Studio boxes, and then I'm going to use this box, the Your Creative Studio box that had lots of tea stuff. But, you know, keep an eye out for that. You know, things get crazy around this time of year, so I'm not going to promise a time frame, but I'm excited to get that going, hopefully sooner rather than later. As always, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing the ideas in this journal and it inspires you to get creating. Have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!